Yo, yo, what is going on, everybody? How is everybody doing tonight, man? Shout out to Afghanistan up in the building. Big Blue in the Bronx is in the building. Lake Nona is in the building. Big Blue Jabroni, my tag team partner, is in the building. Max Webster is in the building. Noah's in the building. Viz's punk ass is in the building. What are you doing here, Viz? How's everybody doing, man? How is all y'all crazy sons of bitches doing tonight, man? It's been a minute, right? I know. Every time I pop up in here, I talk about how it's been a minute. I talk about how I'm gonna make videos. I talk about all that stuff, but you guys know me, man. I do things when I feel like doing things, man. That's the beauty of being me. I show up whenever I feel like it, man. And I felt like showing up tonight because, listen, y'all, we have got a hell of a guest. Let me tell y'all about this dude, okay? This dude is just a absolutely insane Giants fan, okay? Just absolutely insane Giants fan, okay? He's got a lot of knowledge, all right? He's got a lot of information. And when I tell you that this man is a pillow top player from the Himalaya, this dude is a pimp, all right? So, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to introduce y'all to my boy, Rob Gaming. What's going on with you, Rob?
What's going on? What's going on? Happy to be here. Thank you for having me on. I appreciate it.
Man, I'm so absolutely blessed to have you come and pop in, man, and for us to sit here and kind of just talk about this damn team for a little bit, man. Just talk a little bit about how we feel about this team. Talk a little bit about where we think this team is going. Talk about what we think is going on with these moves, man. We just there's a lot to talk about, man.
There
But
is.
uh, but I'm gonna start with this, man. Let me let y'all know how I how me and Rob Gaiman, how me and this man actually even met. Okay, let's start there. All right. So you guys know that I am involved in the Twitch world, right? You guys know that I kind of like parlayed my YouTube thing into a Twitch thing, right? And so I've been relatively active on Twitch now. Obviously, right? I'm like a nobody. Oh, he's running away like Tiki Barber right now. I'm obviously like a nobody on Twitch, right? I'm a nobody, but apparently I'm kind of a somebody. I don't know. It's kind of whatever, right? But I hang out a lot. I hang out a lot in a bunch of streamers channels, man. I try to be as supportive as I can, right? Because at the end of the day, we are all kind of striving for the same goal, and that's to do. We got the hair flip, and that's to do what we love, right? Which is playing video games, I guess, right? Mostly Madden, which we hate, but to do what we love, right? And to be able to interact with our friends, our internet friends, right? Who are all of y'all that watch, support, follow us, subscribe to us, all that good stuff or whatever. So I actually met Rob Gaming in Findler's congregation, all right? And me and Rob have talked a few times, right? But the other day, because Findler is in the middle of this subathon because he's a maniac, and we were in his Discord. We were just shooting the shit, talking about things that we probably shouldn't have been talking about, right? But it was late night. It was late night on Twitch, man. So we was just going crazy, and that was kind of the beginning of me and Rob interacting with each other more. And then
Hell of
we
a beginning.
listen. It's the only way that anyone's beginning with me ever even happens, okay? Everyone's beginning with me is a crazy fucking story, okay? It just so happened that our beginning happened because of a crazy fucking story.
Oh
But
yeah.
but here we are, man. Here we are. And I reached out. I reached out to Rob. He was streaming earlier today. I was sitting here, right, teleworking because I live in this room. Believe it or not, I'm in this room more than I'm anywhere else in this house because literally my work computer is right there. Like I'm pointing at it. Right. That's the work computer. I was sitting here working and lurking, and Rob and I got to talking while he was streaming, and was like, "Hey, man, why don't you come on my channel tonight, man? Let's talk Giants." So here we are. So yeah, man. Let's start here. First and foremost, how did you become a Giants fan?
Man, I became a Giants fan when I was really young. I was back in like 1995. We lived in Queens, New York, and Howard Beach. and we were in my parents' room. They had like that TV that was like built in to an entertainment center and all the stuff from back in the day.
Big tube
And
TV.
yeah, the
Okay.
tube
I
TV,
remember
and
those.
we my dad fired up some football, and I was like, Dad, what's that? And he says it's football. And I asked him what the teams were, and he said one was the Giants, and I forgot what the other team was. I want to say it was the Broncos, but I forgot what the other team was. And I just liked the color of the Giants jerseys. They were blue. They had some red in it. I thought it was really cool. The helmet, I thought it was cool. And we watched the whole game, and then from that moment, I became a Giants fan, and I was watching football with my dad every Sunday, every year until I got old enough to like really understand it. And I've been a Giants fan ever since. I've been through the bad times. I've been through
A
some
lot of
good
a lot of
times.
bad times, couple of good
Definitely
times.
a little bit more bad than good.
Yes, yes.
You know, but the true Giant fans stick around even when it's bad. So,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
uh,
Shout out to
but
Ash Money
yeah,
Records in the
it's been a
building.
ride.
Okay, all right. So then you said that you've been here through the bad times and the good times. There's been a lot of bad, man. And it's interesting, right? Because I find that a lot of fans currently, like a lot of current fans, weren't here through like a lot of the bad, right? So they're just starting to experience a bad patch with the Giants, and they are losing their minds over it. But what
Oh,
they don't
100%.
but what they don't realize is that like a big portion of like the 90s and the 2000s, this team was bad, yo. Like this team was like real bad. And someone like me, I sat through those bad times as a fan. So what's one of the bad times that you remember?
Man, the bad times that I could remember is probably after that 2000 Super Bowl that when they got flooded
Oh,
out by the Ravens, man.
that 2000 Super Bowl hurt so bad.
Yeah, I was. How old was I then? I was born in '89, so you figure I was about like 10 years old. So that's really when you start really kind of understanding and figuring some stuff out.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
after that, I just remember them just getting their asses kicked every year, struggle after struggle after struggle.
The
They
Kerry
had a
Collins
couple of
years. That was the Kerry
Kerry
Collins.
Collins
Yeah.
years, the Tiki Bobber, the Ron Danes.
Oh, Ron
Um,
Dane.
Ron,
Godly.
Hey man, listen, the real number 27 showed
Yeah.
up later on. Okay, the real number 27. But yeah, Ron Dane. And it was hard, man, to watch a lot of that. And then obviously we have the when they brought in, Kurt. They finally got rid of Kerry Collins. They brought in Kurt Warner,
Mm-hmm.
and they ended up with Eli Manning, and
Mm-hmm.
the rest is history. And we have the years after, the couple of Super Bowl wins and stuff like that, and then you have the in between. But it's those years after that 2000 Super Bowl. It took them a little while to recover after that one, I think.
Yeah, it's funny because I specifically remember that 2000 Super Bowl, right? I believe at the time I was about 18, 17 or 18, and I can remember. Actually, man, I might have been closer. I might have been 18, getting ready to turn 19. And I can distinctly remember saying out loud before the Super Bowl started, "Yo, this the Cleveland Browns. Like, we gotta beat the Cleveland Browns. This the damn Cleveland Browns right here." Because like that was, some people
It
don't
was.
don't know or remember that the Baltimore Ravens were the Cleveland Browns. That was the first iteration of the Cleveland Browns that left Cleveland and moved to Baltimore and turned their name into the Baltimore Ravens. So I'm
Yep.
like, yo, this the damn Cleveland Browns. Like, we gotta beat this team. What I didn't realize, because I wasn't smart enough or knowledgeable enough in regards to football, was that 2000s Ravens defense was the monster under the bed. Like, I didn't realize at the time just how dangerous that defense was. So like watching that game, I was shocked. I was like, I cannot believe that we are getting beat this bad by this team. But as I've watched. I didn't want to, but I've watched that 2000s Super Bowl, and I've watched kind of that Ravens run up to that point, man. and we didn't have a shot from the very beginning. Like anybody
No,
that
no,
knew
no chance.
football, like anyone that knew football at that point in time, knew for a fact that the Giants did not have a single opportunity to win that game against that defense. It was just they were just monsters, just absolute monsters. I remember the '90s, man. I remember the '90s Giants just being so bad, man. And it sucked, man, because after we had won our second Super Bowl, it just seemed like we were in purgatory after that. And I think that may be one of the reasons why I am. I don't want to say that like I'm okay with the state of this team as of late, but I think that's the reason why I'm able to deal with it, right? Because I have seen this team win every Super Bowl they've ever won. I've seen this team play in every Super Bowl that they've ever played in, and I remember the times in between those Super Bowls. So like for me, this is business as usual with the Giants because they're good for a couple of years and then they're bad for like 10. They're bad for 10.
Just a regular day at the Giants office.
It
Just
is.
a regular day at the office.
But some people don't understand that because they showed up after we won. After beating the 18-0. I'm sorry, the 18-0 Patriots. That's when some of these people showed up and really started paying attention, and they're like, "Oh my God, why are we so bad? We won Super Bowls," and it's like, it's not quite the way football works all the time, man. It's just not. So, okay, when's the last time you have seen the Giants play live?
So don't hate me for this. I've actually never been to a Giants game live.
Really?
Yeah. So when we lived in New York, we moved out of New York when I was 13.
Okay.
And so we never got really an opportunity. It was just a few years after that 2000 Super Bowl, and after 9/11 where we moved.
Okay.
And they really hadn't played the closest to where we were living at, which was Tampa. They really hadn't played there much. They went to the Super Bowl obviously in '07.
Right.
I tried to get tickets for it. It was sold out. I couldn't get any tickets or nothing like that. And then I think they came up last year when I was in Florida, and they played them last year, and I tried to get tickets for that, and I wasn't able to get any tickets. So I've never, ever seen them play live. I don't know if that doesn't make me a true Giants fan, but it's on my bucket list. I want to go badly. But in some cases too, like I know there's nothing like seeing a game live, but I always feel like I get better picture or like I can appreciate it more watching it on a television than live. I don't know if that's weird or not. I feel like I'll see things that I probably wouldn't see in person, and stuff like that, watching it on the TV just because of how great the cameras are now.
No, the best seat in the house is definitely at home on the couch. It 100%. Like I've been to quite a few Giants games, and though they're fun to watch in person, I agree. The best seat in the house is on the couch. The camera angles are great. The replays are there. You can see everything no matter where they are on the field. I mean, like, so I'm bougie, right? I'm bougie as hell because I won't go to a game unless I can sit dumb close, okay? Like I'm not going to a game and sitting up in the nosebleeds. It's not happening. Like if like if the tickets are free, if I got like free tickets to the game and they were in the nosebleeds, then I'd go, right? Cuz I'm not paying for it. But like if the choice is to sit in the nosebleeds and watch the game or sit at home and watch the game, I'm sitting my ass at home and watching the game.
I respect it.
So
for sure.
So no, if you've never seen them live, that doesn't mean you're not a real fan. Who gives a shit about going and seeing the team live? I mean, I've seen them live. It is one of my goals that in the next few years, I actually become a season ticket holder. So I'll do you a solid. I'll do you a solid, Rob. You're gonna have to drop up to Jersey though. But I'll do you a solid. If I ever become a season ticket holder, I'll make sure you get a ticket to go see the Giants play live.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I appreciate that, homie. I appreciate that very, very much.
That's in my goal. Probably in like the next couple of years. Maybe next year, but probably not. Probably the year after
Make a
that.
trip of it. We'll make a trip
Probably
of
the year
it.
after that. I'm gonna try and see if I can become a season ticket holder. Because me being in Virginia and being like 8 hours away from the stadium, I can get up there anytime. I can get up there anytime. It's nothing for me to just drive up to Jersey. So I figure, hey, I might as well get season tickets. And you got eight games, and I was like, well, shit, man, I could probably go to 4 games and sell 4 tickets, and it pays for itself. So
Pretty much.
so
You
so
could probably do that. That's a good way to look at it.
yeah, I mean, like I know a bunch of people who actually do that. Like they're buy season tickets. They go to like 3 or 4 games a year, but they like there was a guy that worked. He worked up because I work in kind of like the Washington D.C. area. So there was a guy that worked over where I worked, and his house was actually in Florida, but he would travel up to D.C. A couple of weeks at a time to work. But he was originally from New York, so he had season tickets, and he'd go to like 2 games a year and sell the rest. Like he literally is like, if I'm up here and I can get to a game, I'll get to a game, but I typically sell most of my tickets. Like that's just what the dude did. So that's probably the same thing I'm gonna do is go. I'll go see the division games, and I'll sell the other ones. Why not?
I mean, you could probably sell them at least for a few $100, if
Oh yeah.
that. It's but
Oh yeah.
even if and if they're playing well, it'd be even more if they're
Oh
playing
yeah.
well.
Oh yeah. And then if you're a season ticket holder, you get first dibs at playoff games too. So
Ooh,
so that's
that's
a good
dope.
look. Yeah, that'd be a
What's
good
up?
look. So I'm
I
thinking
mean,
about doing
they're making a postseason this year. I
that.
mean, we'll get to that. We'll get to it. And I'm gonna explain. And don't worry, chat. I'm gonna explain. I'm
Okay.
gonna explain it.
All right.
When we get to, I'm gonna explain it.
I
I
can't
did want to
wait.
say, somebody said it. Where is it in the chat? Jay Berman. It's definitely shorter walks to the bathroom when you're
Yep.
watching
Yep.
it at the
Yo,
house.
Jay Berman is probably the oldest Giants fan in this circle. Okay, this man has seen and learned about so much Giant stuff. I gotta get him on here one day, and he's gonna do all the talking because he's a historian. He knows his shit about the Giants, man. Like he knows his shit, and it's funny because he lives in Florida, but he knows his shit, man. This dude's a historian, and
I'll be
his
watching
Twitter be
that.
going crazy. All right, cool. So let's talk about how you felt about last season. What were your thoughts on how this team did the first year under Joe Judge? In a COVID year with all of the stuff that happened. How did you feel about this team last season?
Um, I mean, I felt pretty good. How I saw the team playing throughout the year, with COVID happening and no preseason, no OTAs, no mini camps. Really no real opportunity to get out there and gel and work things out, go play some training, some preseason games, get some of that other stuff out. You figure probably at that point, the first 4 or 5 games of the year were preseason games as far as the regular season to work that stuff out. So I really didn't have a lot of high expectations. After listening to some of especially his press conference with Joe Judge, I got a Bill Belichick, Tom Coughlin, old Bill Parcells, old school feel from Joe Judge. I love the answers that he gave when asking to evaluate players. Gave like a Mike Tomlin response. Didn't give him no answers. I love that.
Mm-hmm.
And making it about, listen, I'm gonna let you guys know when I figure it out, and stuff like. I love that. I love the way that the players responded to him. You could tell in how they were playing throughout the year how hard they played. I think they made some really good offseason acquisitions, bringing in guys like James Bradbury, Blake Martinez, Jabal Sheard. They picked up
Yep.
Logan Ryan. They picked up some really, really good key pieces that I feel like really helped them out. Shoot, even certain players, even before he went down, Lorenzo Carter seemed like he was playing really, really, really well before his injury. It hurt to see him go down, but he looked different. other than the previous years. It kind of looked like he was going to get to that potential that we thought he could be when they drafted him. But I liked it. I'm very optimistic. I love the fact that they're going into a second year with him. Hopefully, there's a full season. As far as off season, mini camps, training camp, OTAs, to where they can really try to mold their craft. I wasn't happy with Danny Dimes' performance, but at the same time, the guy's had three offensive coordinators the last 3 years, and he's had three different head coaches. He had Joe Judge, he had Pat Shermer, and he had his college head coach. And so the fact is, three different systems, 3 different years, and then he didn't have any time to really prepare for it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna kind of give him a pass. But I'm excited, man, for what's coming, what they're gonna do this year. But I was happy to see how they performed, especially the defense. I feel like the defense is kind of getting back to where we need it, and what really won us championships is solid, stout defense, pressure with the front four, and just being able to do all these different stunts and stuff like that with linebackers. I'm excited.
All right, man. So there's a lot to unpack there, right? But it's funny because a lot of the things that you say are the same things that I said going into the year. I talked about and Rob might know this, but he might not know this, that I actually coach football. So
I did not.
it was funny because going into the season, I said don't expect our first 4 weeks of football to be clean football anywhere, right? Because we didn't have preseason, we barely had training camp, and so like we're not in a position to work out the kinks, because that's what preseason is really about. Preseason is about working out the kinks, figuring out who can do what well in live action, real time, live hitting. We didn't get any of that. So I said, hey, don't be surprised if the first four weeks is just sloppy. And unfortunately, the first 8 weeks were kind of sloppy. The first 8 weeks were sloppy, just sloppy ass football. But it
That was
seemed,
rough.
but it seemed like as the season progressed, the light bulbs started going off for some players. Obviously losing Saquon was a big blow to our offense.
It's tough.
But I didn't feel confident about our offense going into the season to begin with, because I didn't like our wide receiver room. I didn't felt like we had enough weapons from the wide receivers. I felt encouraged by the moves we made for our offensive line, and I felt like we'd get better offensive line play. That didn't quite happen until later on in the season. And I've said that, like, I am not on the Daniel Jones train, right? I'm just following the train from station to station, because like I don't know if Daniel Jones is the guy or not, and I feel kind of the same way. Like, all right, there's a new system. He had to learn a new system. He didn't have time to work with his guys. No one was able to really go out and throw the ball around, because we were in the beginning stages of COVID, the very early stages of COVID. And so he wasn't able to do what he's doing right now, which is, hey, offense, let's go meet at this place and let's get this thing together before the season starts. Like, he wasn't able to do that. So, like, it's like, all right, Daniel, listen, I'm going to let you slide this year, because it's year 2, new system, crazy type of season. I don't know if you're the guy, but we gonna see. And so now, right now, we are in a position to where it's put up or shut up time for Daniel Jones. So what do you think about the moves that we made in the offseason?
I like the moves. I really, again, another really amazing. It seemed like every move there was, and I'm not there. I'm not in the room, but it almost seemed like there was a collective mindset as far as what needed to get done. It almost kind of felt like Bill Belichick making moves during the offseason, bringing in guys that could be write-offs, could be people that maybe they wouldn't think that would be good, and they could actually end up being stout players. We needed to get a playmaking wide receiver. We brought in Kenny Galladay. Obviously, the guy was injured, but the year before that led the NFL in touchdown receptions.
He could
The
be a
year before
beast.
that,
He could be a beast.
and he is, and he did that. You got to look at it like this too. He did this. The Lions have not had a 1,000-yard wide receiver, or excuse me, a 1,000-yard rusher in the 12 years that Matthew Stafford has been there, and they've only had a 100-yard rusher, I believe, once. And so now you put him on a team where he's got a top 5 running back in Saquon Barkley, who is going to be getting a lot of looks. You're going to put 8 in the box. So there's going to be less coverage that's going to be out there. It's going to free him up. I like the addition of John Ross, even though at the beginning of it I was kind of scratching my head, but I'm like, okay, well, this guy's got a lot of speed, so we could utilize him on special teams, coming out of the backfield. Maybe could be like almost like a James White type of player for the Giants, really kind of spreading that ball around, quick little dump offs, get it going. So I like that
because he's fast as hell. Imagine
he's
Ross.
quick.
Imagine Ross on like a jet sweep that's well blocked. He's gone.
Dude, the guy's quick, and he's. I think he's got something to prove. I really do. I think he's got something to prove. I think, he was drafted in a top draft pick. He went to a situation where he was expected to do well. The offensive line for the Bengals really wasn't all that great. They really didn't have consistent good quarterback play. You had A.J. Green there. Then Tyler Boyd showed up, so he kind of really got stuffed to the side a little bit.
Right.
Tyler Eifert was there when he was in his prime and balling out. So now he's going to come to a fresh start where there's no pressure. There's no pressure. There's no, hey, you're the number 1 draft pick. You need to make sure that you're producing. He could just go out there and focus on playing some football. And I think that Joe Judge is going to put him in a position where he's really going to succeed and he's going to do well. I was upset about Dalvin Tomlinson. We lost another freaking defensive tackle to the Minnesota Vikings. It happened with Linval. It happened with Dalvin. But hey, hey, listen. I was hurt because he was a good leader in the locker room. He bought in. He even said, "I'm gonna take a hometown discount." But I do like the addition of Danny Shelton. I like that. I think he's a bigger guy. He's won championships. He's played with Joe Judge before, so I think that's going to be a stout pickup there. We added in, I believe we added in a running back, Booker.
Yep.
So I like that. I like that pickup. He was with Denver. He was with Oakland. Could be a really good additional like power back. What else did we add? We brought in a Fetty from Minnesota. I think that could be a sleeper pickup that we got there. We also signed a guy from the Chiefs. I can't remember his first. I think it's like Marcus Spears or something like that. He was a 2nd-round high draft pick. He really kind of got shut out and lost some playing time due to the players that they had there. They brought him in, and he's on the practice squad. So I like that pickup too. I like it. I like the moves that we made. I think that we filled holes that we needed to fill, and now you gave Danny Dimes, you gave him some weapons that he can utilize. And I do think it's a make or break year. I think you're going into a second year with the system. If he doesn't produce, they could somewhat say, "Oh, it's on Jason Garrett. Maybe it's not Daniel Jones. Maybe we need to bring in somebody else," which they did. They actually brought in a college guy.
Yep.
He's an assistant offensive coordinator. And eventually I do think he's probably going to be the offensive coordinator going forward, because I don't think that Garrett's going to be back next year. But we'll see what happens. But I like the moves. I think they did what they needed to do, and I'm excited to see how it all plays out.
Okay. So I haven't actually really spoke on how I felt about this entire offseason yet. I'm still planning on doing a full video on that. But I am also very happy. When it comes to Dalvin Tomlinson, right? Don't get me wrong, because I'm a defensive line coach by trade. Okay, I love the trenches. I love big fat mofos that just run into other big fat mofos. That's my favorite. Okay, But I always felt like Dalvin Tomlinson was a guy whose production could be replaced. Um, Now, don't get me wrong. I feel like Dalvin Tomlinson is going to go to Minnesota and he's going to ball out, right? He's going to be another one of those Linval Joseph situations where we're going to see him and go, man, we let him walk away. But I feel like we have the depth on our defensive line to where they'll be able to kind of step right in and without missing a beat. BJ Hill is a guy that I'm really high on. And I think BJ Hill got kind of lost in the shuffle of all of these really good linemen that we have. But I feel like you take Dexter Lawrence, you push him into the middle, and you slide B.J. Hill in Dexter Lawrence's spot. That's going to be a good rotation. Danny Shelton. Danny Shelton's going to be able to come in there and rotate in and out. I mean, we still have a lot of depth on this defensive line, and I really think that we're going to be able to continue to move without missing a beat. And then you throw in there, an Adoree Jackson as our number 2 corner. Listen, if this defensive back room can be as good as it looks on paper, then it's kind of not gonna matter who's rushing the passer. To be honest with you, coverage sack goes to whoever gets there first. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like,
Yeah.
so I feel like we traded Dalvin Tomlinson for Adoree Jackson, and I think that's going to potentially give us more value. Now, obviously, Adoree was hurt last year. So, it was the Achilles deal. We'll have to see how he's feeling after that. We got quite a few players there. Hey, we're gonna have to just see how they feel coming off of injury. But I trust the doctors, right? Because ultimately the doctors are the one that's telling the coaches and the general manager, hey, this guy's cleared hot. He can play. So we'll have to see what happens when the rubber meets the road. But overall, I'm really happy with our free agency. Did we spend a shitload of money? Yeah, we did. But I don't think that's going to hurt us so much. I don't know if that's going to hurt us that much. We'll have to just kind of wait and see. So I mean that's kind of the way I feel.
Yeah.
Without going super in depth and spoiling the long ass video that I'm going to make. It's going to be a long ass video. It's going to probably be like 25-30 minute video, but it is what it is because I want to get all my thoughts out on this free agency period. So okay, cool. So who currently on this football Giants team do you think is your favorite player? Who's the guy that you're going to be rooting the hardest for this upcoming season?
Oh, it's got to be Saquon. Barkley is definitely right now is my favorite Giant as of right now. It hurt to see him go down. You could tell it hurt. It hurt him to go down and to leave his team like that. But it's got to be Saquon. And I'm excited to man, with the amount of things that we're able to do now, science and healing and all this other stuff. I mean, bro, Adrian Peterson tore his ACL and was back in 8 months and then ran for 2,000 yards.
Sure did.
And came back in 8 months. And I think, and a lot of people want to, kind of put, okay, this person. You got a lot of great running backs that are out there. You really do. You got Zeke, you got Aaron Jones. You've got some good guys. And it's not me being a biased fan. I think Saquon is probably the best running back in the National Football League, and I say that because the guy was produced numbers in his rookie year with an atrocious offensive line, and was running for his life. And you got guys like Zeke that had a stout offensive line that didn't really put up that much more numbers than Saquon Barkley. And I think Saquon missed a couple of games that last year and stuff like that last year, and Zeke still didn't put up that much more than he did. So I'm excited for him. I want to see him come back. I want to see him be healthy. There's been some contract talk about, is he going to be there long term? Running backs are expendable. But I think that's a guy that if you plan on making a run and you plan on, really going deep and trying to have consecutive good years, and you need a good running back. And I feel like he's the type of guy that you got to keep around. And I'd love to see him, be there for his entire career. Will it
So
happen? I don't know, but
wait a minute. You putting Saquon over Christian McCaffrey?
I am. Look, Christian
Interesting.
is, Christian McCaffrey is a great talent. Especially his dad played for the Giants for a little bit, and Ed
He
McCaffrey.
did.
Then he
Yep.
obviously had a great career, with Denver. Christian McCaffrey for me is not like that power type of guy. Yeah, he can run, in between the tackles, but for me, when I look at him, I see a Darren Sproles. I see a James White. I don't see a guy that's that physical type of back. When I look at Saquon, I see a little bit of everything. I see a young LT going out there making catches, making plays that had 100 receiving yards his second year in the league. I see a young Adrian Peterson that was bulldozing and just brutally just beating up on people with physical strength. We've seen him jump over people. I mean, the guy is just a physical specimen. When AP came into the league, everybody said that he was a generational talent. There
Mm-hmm.
was nobody like him. And I
Right.
think Saquon Barkley is that next back that is a generational talent. When he retires, there won't be people will be looking for that next Saquon Barkley running back. Who is it going to be? Who's going to take that? Who's going to take that status, that title? I think he's that good. I really, really do.
Wow. Man, we put in a whole lot of faith in old Saquon Barkley. I love Saquon Barkley, okay? I am absolutely happy that Saquon Barkley is on this team, right? I am one of those people who said that I think that we made a mistake picking him, right? I'll admit that. I will admit that because I wanted Quentin Nelson, all right? But I'm super happy he's on his team, and I hope to God that he is just a monster because I will say this, right? I was
Mhm.
on the fence. I was on the fence about whether or not we should take Saquon or if we should take Quentin Nelson, right? And I distinctly remember having a conversation with somebody where I was like, man, I'm kind of starting to think maybe we should take Saquon over Quentin Nelson. And the dude that I was talking to was like, but why, man? Quentin Nelson is like Hall of Fame level offensive lineman. And I'm like, I know, but Saquon can do everything. Like I remember specifically saying that, like this kid can do everything. I don't know. So I kept being like on the fence whether or not I wanted Saquon or Quentin Nelson. And I remember when the draft came, I was like, I think it's Quentin Nelson, man. I think we got to take Quentin Nelson. He's just so good. He's such a good offensive lineman. But I remember being happy that we took Saquon. Like, hey, I'm good with
Yeah.
that too. Like, I wanted Nelson, but I'm good with that too because this kid can do everything. So I do believe that Saquon has the potential to be that the kind of running back that people are looking for, the next Saquon Barkley. Um, but like I, running back is one of those positions, man, where you're either going to get a guy that's going to give you 2, 3, maybe 4 years of production, or in very rare cases you'll get a guy that'll give you 10, right? And I wonder if Saquon's going to be able to give us 10. Like I think he's got the passion and the desire to do it. I wonder if
I
he's going to be able to
think
give us 10.
I think that you'll actually see more production for a larger longevity with Saquon than you would see. I see people in the chat they're talking about Derrick Henry. I think listen, Derrick Henry he's a freak. I mean, but the guy is a there's no question. The guy is a power running
Oh,
back.
without
That's what he
question.
is.
Without question.
Power running back.
Run your
Can
ass
he
over
catch
running
the
back. Yep.
ball? Absolutely. I mean, majority, people, everybody can catch the ball for the majority of the point. But when you look at Derrick Henry, you're not going to be like, okay, he's he's an all-purpose type of back. You're not going to put him in that category. Um, I, you know, so I think that Saquon is going to outlast, as far as production, going to outlast Henry.
I'm
I
sorry.
think Henry.
I'm sorry, Rob. I got to cut you off because I'm seeing something in my chat that's just fucking ridiculous, and it's coming from a guy who is just fucking ridiculous. Giants Nation,
Bruh.
bruh.
Fuck no, baby.
Josh Allen or Lamar
Yo,
Jackson
That's
should be on this team.
fucking ridiculous, okay? Because there
What?
wasn't a single fucking person on the planet at that time that thought that Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson was a number 2 fucking pick. You can say that now because we know what these players have become. But your punk ass wasn't saying that when we was on the clock at number 2. Your punk ass wasn't saying that. So shut the fuck up. Shut all the way. Oh, damn. I thought that was going to slip.
Surprise, motherfucker.
I saw it, okay? I saw that shit. Okay, that shit ain't going to fucking slip around here. I saw it. This motherfucker, we should have had Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson. Neither one of those motherfuckers look like the number 2 overall pick in the draft. Stop it. Stop it with your hindsight 2020 bullshit, Giants Nation. Come on, man. You know you can't do that in my channel. You know you can't.
I mean, look, there were people, and what I'll say, Giants Nation, to add to that, is there were a lot of people that wanted Lamar Jackson to become a running back. There were reports coming out when he was getting drafted whether he would change positions and go and become a running back. And that's when the whole joke about a running back playing quarterback came in. And look, I mean, Josh Allen is playing well. You know what I'm saying? He's doing good. He's definitely a quarterback that you could arguably say
What's up,
is
Joseph?
right after Jim Kelly as far as a Bill Great right now. He's playing good. The Bills were, you had some horrible quarterbacks. Trent Edwards, awful. You know, the late Jim Kelly's the last great running, quarterback that you guys had, and he's playing good. Now you guys lost a couple of pieces. You know, the Bills lost a couple of pieces. They lost John Brown. You know, they don't really have a consistent running game. They have a little bit, but let's see what he's able to do. He couldn't get it done this year, and going up against Patty Mahomes, they couldn't get it done. So we'll see what he's able to do. But going forward, when you lose a big game like that, it could change your career. It could derail your career. So we'll see. But when it comes to, I do not wish that I had Lamar Jackson or Josh Allen. I'm happy with what we've got now, and I believe in Danny Dimes. I'm gonna say I believe in Danny.
I mean, and then he got the nerve to say, I was saying take a quarterback. What fucking quarterback? Sam Darnold, who just got traded for a fucking bologna and cheese sandwich? Like, for real? Or Josh Rosen?
I know. Well, are you hating on
Rosen?
Sam Darnold, though?
No, I'm not hating on him, but, like, Sam Darnold hasn't looked good. So you think Sam Darnold would have looked better here than he did on the Jets? No, he wouldn't have.
Let's take a time out there really quick. I actually think Sam Darnold getting traded was better for Sam Darnold.
It is.
Because that Jets organization is a joke.
But we can't sit here and act like we were in a better position than the Jets have been in. Because we weren't. We fucking weren't. Sam Darnold would have got fucking killed if he came here and started playing. He would have got massacred. Our offensive line was worse than the Jets' offensive line. So you thought Sam Darnold was going to come in here and do something? You thought Josh Rosen was going to come in here and do something? They weren't. Those were the only 2 other quarterbacks who were graded that high at that point in the draft. So you want to take one of those 2 motherfuckers? Because you're saying, we should have took a quarterback, Giants Nation. Which fucking quarterback? Because none of us thought that Josh Rosen or Lamar Jackson was good enough to take at 2. So stop it, bro. Stop it. It's easy to say that now 2 years later.
And a lot of the plays this year, I know that, Danny Dimes really, 11 touchdowns or 10 touchdowns and a bunch of, I think he had more interceptions than he had touchdowns. But what I will say is a lot of the plays and a lot of the drives, when it comes to his athletic ability, he's a lot more athletic than a lot of the quarterbacks, that people were saying that we could draft. I think he's as athletic, or maybe slightly a little bit more athletic when it comes to his legs than Josh Allen. I'm not going to put him in Lamar Jackson. I mean, Lamar Jackson is a very athletic player. But a lot of the drives and plays that kept drives alive this year when Danny was playing, he did with his legs. I mean, shit, the man's highlight is an 83-yard run that he was running faster than his legs, and he tripped and he fell.
Hey,
I mean, that's
I'm gonna bring my boy Max in here because Max wants to add to this. Hold on a second. Let me switch
Okay.
so that this doesn't look super terribly unprofessional. Hold on a second. Boom. Let me change this here. Boom. Okay. Hold on a second.
Hello, Max.
Start talking. Boom.
What's
Here
going
we
on,
go.
Rob? How you doing, my
there.
guy?
Boom. Max
good,
Webster
sir.
is in the building. And before we continue, I'm sorry. I don't mean to keep cutting you off, Rob, but I want to punch Giants Nation in his fucking face because this motherfucker keep asking the question, what did Saquon do for us the last 3 years? Let me give you the fucking short answer. You dumb son of a bitch. You fucking ignoramus. He did the exact same thing that a Josh Rosen or a Sam Darnold would have did if we took them instead. Fucking nothing. Fucking nothing. We'd be sitting here talking about how bad the team was, just like we are right now. You big dumb forehead ass having motherfucker. Like, what are you talking about? What are you fucking talking about right now? Come on, bro. Come on, man. Here, this is for you. Sad fucking violins for fucking Giants Nation in the goddamn chat. Like, what are you talking about right now? Okay, go. I'm sorry.
I mean, God. What did Saquon do for us the last 3 years? I mean, well, he was hurt last year, so he really didn't do much. You know what I'm saying? He struggled the first couple of games. But I mean, what did he do? I mean, the guy's put up what 2,300 yards in 3 years. He's probably got what over 1,200 yards receiving. He's probably got almost 200 catches in 3 seasons. I mean, what more do you want, Giants Nation? I mean, what more do you want?
I mean, like, it's just being no. And here's the thing. Because Jay is like, he's trolling, and he is trolling because this motherfucker comes in my Twitch stream and he's like, AP today better than Saquon ever, and I'm like, you're fucking dumb. You're ridiculous, man. Everything you say is fucking stupid. All right, so we don't even take you seriously in the first place. I'm just interacting with you right now for the fucking content, stupid. You big fucking dummy. Max, how you doing tonight, man?
I'm good, man. How are you? It's been a busy, eventful evening.
Oh, I'm sure, man. I know that you was working on a.
Surprise,
Y'all can't hear the
motherfucker.
soundboard when I click it, but just know that I clicked surprise, motherfucker. You're working on a little surprise. I see you putting that working in the background.
It's next episode of the podcast coming out tomorrow, 6:30 p.m.
Y'all better
Eastern
be
Standard
there.
Time.
Y'all better be there for that shit. Y'all
I'll
better
check it out.
be
The first non-New York Giants content creator to be interviewed on my podcast.
Oh, dope. Okay, dope. That's
I
absolutely dope.
get to know somebody who's not a New York Giants content creator and learn a little bit about why they cover what they cover and things like that.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And Max and I are cooking up a little something for y'all. We're gonna do the draft. We're gonna do the draft live. I've never done a live draft. I'm gonna do it with Max. I don't know
Live
how.
here.
I don't know how it's gonna go, right? Because this is the first time that I'm like walking into the draft and I'm saying, yo, y'all take whoever y'all want. I'm not gonna be mad. But there are a couple of players
I don't know. I might be slightly irritated at a
There's
couple.
a couple of players that I'm like, you better not take this motherfucker though. You better not take him.
Gregory
There was a report that I
Russo.
saw
Russo,
today
I don't fucking
that
want Russo at all.
they actually may trade down
I'm good
in the
with
draft.
Not gonna happen.
I'm good.
I don't
Dave
see them
Gettleman,
doing
yeah.
it. I think the report had him trading with Chicago and stuff like that and going from.
I wouldn't be
11
mad, but Dave
20,
Gettleman doesn't do it.
Wait. You know what else? You know what else Dave Gettleman doesn't do? Restructures and backloaded contracts. Oh wait. Oh
Why
wait.
doesn't he do that?
He said he didn't. He said in his last fucking press conference.
He said in an ideal situation, you split the cap evenly between years.
In an
He did not say he
in
doesn't
an ideal situation, you take the player that's at the board when you're up. In an ideal situation, this man could trade down. He could do it.
Show me one time in history where Dave Gettleman's traded down.
Man, listen, show me one time in history where a team that's breaking records, right? A team that's breaking records, and looks like the juggernaut of the league, and then they lose in the Super Bowl. I mean, come on, man. Anything can happen. Anything can happen.
I think it's going to be a wild draft. I'm interested to see what they do. I don't see them going a wide receiver with what we have now. With Slayton, Sterling. Now you got Galladay. You bring in John Ross.
Oh, we still need to get a wide receiver. I still want a wide receiver.
I'll be honest. I don't think so. I really don't. I would love to see them.
Not in the first round.
Maybe
but
not
I'm okay with
round,
one somewhere in the draft.
Hey yo,
like second. If we go offensive line first, I'd be okay. Wide receiver second and beyond, just one. Right? We don't need.
But imagine one of these top tier wide receivers. Like, imagine having one of these top tier wide receivers in addition to what we did. Like, imagine.
I don't mind if they're going to do that. If you're going to go, Devin Smith or something like that, you think that you're going to be able to land one of those guys, then somebody's getting moved. They're going to be trading somebody because they're not going to keep Sterling. They're not going to keep Slayton. I'll be very honest.
Pettis and Ross are always possible cuts.
Pettis is a possible cut. Ross, we don't know what's going to happen with him.
You're not going to – I don't think Pettis and Ross are possible cuts 100%, but I don't think that you're going to draft a wide receiver and keep Slayton and Sterling Shepard. I think one of those
Slayton's on his rookie deal.
Why
and Shepard costs us more money to cut than to keep this year.
Why not? Why not have four? Why not have four monster ass dudes and just play play spread? Why not?
Because
why the fuck not?
I actually don't think it. And if I'm, I know Joe doesn't really kind of meddle in the offense, but I think what they really want to do is I think they're going to want to go two tight end sets, 2 wide receivers, and I think that they want to utilize the running back to have Penny be kind of like what was he a Devin. Devlin or whatever he was for the Patriots. I think that's what they want to do. I think that's why they brought in Kyle Rudolph. They're going to have Evan Ingram in there. I mean, in an ideal world,
trade that son of a bitch. Get his ass off my team right now.
I hope and pray. Please, NFL and Giants and stupid owner gods, let Kyle Pitts fall to number 11.
Oh my God! We're talking about fucking Kyle Pitts again. We're talking about Kyle Pitts again. Jesus Christ!
Oh, how do you not? How would you not? I would say
wait. Rob, let me get this straight. You're a man who just said I don't want a wide receiver anywhere in this draft because we have Kenny Golladay, Sterling Shepard, and Darius Slayton. But we have Evan Ingram, who might not be the best receiving tight end, but he's always a threat to take the top off.
He won't be here when we trade that ass.
He's an amazing red zone threat. And now you want to take Kyle Pitts?
Well, to be honest, I was hoping that they were going to make a move at tight end and get rid of Evan Ingram. He really pissed me off this year. He really did. With the fucking drop at fucking Philly, which don't even get me started with the Eagles. But with the drop in Philly, wide open.
If you want to talk about the Eagles, check out the episode tomorrow.
Oh, listen, hey, don't tease
me. We got a little teaser. It's the Eagles guy.
Don't tease me.
I think I might know who it is. Actually, I think I might know who it is.
Go ahead and shoot your guess, Pest.
I'm not going to. I'm going to just wait patiently. Like listen. I'm a guy that can wait till Christmas to open his presents. Okay, we'll just wait.
I mean, there's no question that Evan Ingram he's an athletic player. I just think I don't think it's a right fit for what we're looking to do. I think Kyle Pitts would be a better fit, and I think we could trade him. And I think if we trade Ingram now, we still might be able to get some value from him, as opposed to him potentially coming out this year, maybe not producing, and then we lose value in him.
I guess it depends on what your definition of value is, right?
I think we could get a second round pick for Evan Ingram.
Oh hell no, we can't get no second round pick for Evan Ingram. We'd be lucky to get a fourth for that.
Second or a third.
I mean, just look at Sam Darnold, right?
Huh?
I said just look at Sam Darnold. He's a quarterback who very well could turn his career around with a new team. They gave up a 6th this year. a second or fourth next. Do you really think we can get a
that's
second for Evan
that's fucking
Ingram?
peanuts.
I do, because our ownership isn't dog shit like the Jets.
Nah.
Okay, isn't dog
We'll be
shit.
lucky.
And you know what? And all of these-
We'll be lucky if
listen,
we get a 5th round pick and a ball tickle for fucking.
and listen,
Evan Ingram.
let me address for any potential Jets fucking fans that are watching this right now or potentially will watch this. All of you fucking take Zach Wilson. Who the fuck is he going to be throwing to? Who?
Corey Davis,
who
Jamison
had a
Crowder.
2,000-yard rusher and also had A.J. Brown. Yeah, how'd that work out with Jamison Crowder, who had a top-tier wide receiver and a good running game, went over there and did dog shit nothing. Good luck
And
with
Najee
that.
Harris in the backfield.
Good luck with that, Jets fan. Who's your best offensive lineman? Mekhi Becton?
Who can't stay on the field.
Hey, yo, I don't like Mekhi Becton. I'm just gonna tell you that right
come
now.
on,
I don't
man.
like
You know,
him. I
Mekhi
don't like him.
Becton, if he could stay healthy, I think he'd
could
be the
a
best
monster.
offensive tackle.
He could be a monster, but he's just always
He had
hurt.
3 injuries this year alone. 3.
Yeah,
I mean, it's same situation that happened with Sam Darnold happened with Mark Sanchez. I don't think Mark Sanchez was a bad quarterback at all. I think that he lost weapons and they never replenished what he lost. And I think Sam Darnold suffered the same consequence. They never put any weapons. They didn't have a top-tier running back. They didn't have any weapons on offense. They damn sure didn't have no damn tight end. And their offensive line was dog shit, and their defense didn't help them out. So, hey, listen, Matt Rule might work out for you, bro. Second, third, and 6th round pick might be the best trade of your life.
Listen,
Hey, it might be, but Matt Rule definitely put his job on the line for this guy.
I mean, Sam's already in a better situation. He's got McCaffrey. They've got Moore that's there. DJ Moore.
Rodney Anderson is there.
You know, Robbie Anderson, former Jet. You know, so he's back with Sam Darnold. You know, he's already.
I mean, everybody says Robbie Anderson, but let's be real. What was Robbie in New York? Maybe a wide receiver 2 at best.
Yeah,
Maybe.
but I mean, he can stretch the field. You know, he's got familiarity. Yeah, thank you, sir. very, very much. My tongue got away from me. It's all that PTP, bro. It's all that PTP.
No, that
PTA.
PTP. That
PTP, baby.
That PTP.
You know,
Oh,
my
my
God.
God. That PTP, baby.
PTP, baby.
Or is it that PTA?
No, it definitely ain't no PTA going on over there with Rock Gaming.
No.
It's PTP. Hold on a second. And for those who don't know what PTP is, that's that old pillow top pussy. Thanks, Miss Rob Gaming. She coined that phrase. That's her phrase forever. She said pillow top pussy. I was like, I'm dead.
It's a good thing you're not monetized, Pest. That's all I gotta say.
Listen, I'll probably never be fucking monetized because the moment they actually, you know what? No, because YouTube is now allowing adult content to be monetized. So I may have a shot when that happens. Okay,
By who?
They're letting it be monetized. I saw something that said that YouTube is going to allow mature content to be monetized. Now, by mature content, that means fucks and shits and bitches and asses. That don't mean booty shaking and titties. Okay, but like I can talk the way I talk and probably still make a couple of dollars on YouTube, maybe.
Maybe if you're Joe Rogan.
Maybe.
Let me ask you guys a question. So we cut Kevin Zeitler, okay?
Yep.
Wasn't expecting that. I know why we did it. So it opened up, you know, some money for us. I kind of wanted to keep that offensive line together. We brought in a guy like Zach Fulton, who's been around the league for a little bit. He came in 2014. Was drafted by the Chiefs. I think he started all 16 games his first year. Had a couple of injuries, but he's been with the Texans the last few years. And he's got some pretty good starts. I think he started 16 games last year. I think he got hurt a couple of years prior to that, but he played a good amount of time. Do we still go offensive line? Because I'm not totally sold on Will Hernandez either. At all.
I am. I'm sold on him. I'm sold on Will Hernandez.
Sold like that? You want him out?
No.
Simple answer is yes, we go offensive line. And it's not because I don't like Will Hernandez as a player. It's because Will Hernandez, after this year, becomes a free agent. We allocated so much money next year with all these cap space moves and free agency that we did this year, to move it to next year's, anticipating the high increase, I don't think we're going to be able to re-sign Will Hernandez. And to talk about the offensive lineman from Texans, I look at him as kind of the opposite type of player that Shane Lemieux is, right? Shane Lemieux, at least who he has been so far. Shane Lemieux has been a very small sample size, but he was a mauler in the run game and very inadequate in the passing pro.
Right.
I look at this offensive guard from the Texans as the absolute opposite of Shane Lemieux. He's pretty good in pass pro, not that great in the run game.
Yeah, I would agree. I would 100% agree with that. Now, I think that Shane Lemieux can get better.
Yes, I think all of our rookies will.
And I don't have a whole lot of trepidation about Shane Lemieux stepping in and playing right guard. I think he did a well enough job.
Hot take, real quick.
Yeah.
I think he plays left and Will Hernandez goes to the right. Just saying. If we don't get somebody else.
Interesting.
If you were going to draft, and would you be drafting interior? And if you would, who do you think they take if they don't trade down
Cage?
At 11? Who's that marquee guy that you think fits their scheme and that they would go after?
If I'm the Giants and Rashawn Slater or Sewell are sitting at 11, because right now, before a month ago, Sewell was apparently the clear-cut number one, and now in a month everything has changed, and there's some conversation that it might be Slater. So if either one of them are sitting at 11, I'm picking either one of them and putting them at guard. If it's Sewell, I might have him compete with Parrott, but from what Jordan Renan had to say today on Twitter, the Giants are extremely high on Parrott. It's been a very small sample size. He wasn't that great last year towards the end of the year, and the reason we didn't see him so much is because he had an ankle injury. But the Giants seem very high on Parrott as a right tackle, so I would anticipate him to be starting. And the reason I say that Shane Lemieux is probably our starting left guard is for the same reason I don't think we'll keep Will Hernandez. If you're going to keep one of the two guards, wouldn't you want him to be on the same side as your rookie left, or not rookie anymore, but the left tackle that you plan to have on the franchise for quite some time? Plus, he played left guard in college, and last year when he played most of the time, it was on the left side. So I think Will Hernandez is probably better, not better on the right side, but it's more likely he ends up there because of the trust that the Giants have in Shane Lemieux.
Do you think Matt starts over Nate Solder at right tackle?
Yes.
See, I don't know. I think if Nate Solder came back, I don't think that he would come back to be a backup. I think he would come back to be the starting right tackle. I think he would be better at right than he would be at left. I mean, you can't put him at left after Andrew just started.
No, he's definitely not playing left tackle this year unless Andrew Thomas gets hurt.
Yeah.
That's 100% fact. Andrew Thomas better be the only person playing left tackle unless he gets hurt this year. What do you think about that, Pest? You agree?
I'm sorry. Hold on a second.
Okay. Yeah, I mean that's where I sit. Andrew Thomas. Right now, I look at this offensive line, and Andrew Thomas is the only one that I can feel comfortable with going, he is the left tackle of the future of this offensive line. Now, I like Nick Gates. I like what he can do.
I did. He really impressed.
I like Will Hernandez, but like I said, I don't think we can keep him. Shane Lemieux has left a lot to prove, and we have barely seen Matt Parrott.
They could tag him, Will Hernandez, if they really if he shows up. That's my thing. If he starts, which he's going to start, but if he plays well this year, they could very well tag him next year. And
the reason I don't think that's necessarily a great idea is for the same reason that we didn't keep Leonard on the tag this year. You can't move the money around, and when you don't have much cap space because you allocated so much from this year's players to next year salary cap, I just don't think it's the best idea. That's just my opinion.
Hey, yo,
I'm just a fan. I'm not a GM, and they might have different ideas because I didn't see this offseason unfolding the way it did this year, but that's just my thoughts.
Oh, my God, Joe. I'm just laughing at my chat right now. My chat is going crazy.
I can't even see your chat. It's not showing up on my StreamYard.
It's not on StreamYard. It's because I'm actually using I'm using Streamlabs to stream, and I'm used to using StreamYard so we can all talk to each other.
I got you.
So I'm it's funny. It's funny, and there's this guy that showed up. His name is Pestilence, and he's just talking all kinds of crazy shit. I don't even know who that guy is, but he's in here talking talking reckless. Pestilence.
He
woke
must.
up and
He
chose
must.
violence. I don't
He
know
must
that
have
guy
your
is.
Discord.
Yeah, I don't. Pestilence woke up and he chose violence. I don't know what that dude's problem is.
Right here, baby.
But
That's
Pest,
right here.
if you had to take a stab at it right now, week 1, going left to right, who is your starting offensive line? If we get nobody in the draft.
Okay. Obviously Andrew Thomas,
Yep.
Will Hernandez.
You put Will on the left.
I
Huh?
put Will on the left. I think Will stays on the left.
Okay.
Nick Gates is going to keep playing center. I know Nick Gates was not fantastic, but I fucking love Nick Gates. Like, I love Nick Gates because he always wants to fight, and I love an offensive lineman that always wants to fight.
Bro, he tried to get into a fight, bro.
I
Like,
love
Aaron
that.
Donald, man.
3 times in the same game. I'm like, bro, okay, Nick, okay.
Listen.
I mean, don't let that long hair fool you. You know, he's ready to go. I like it.
As a defensive lineman who wanted to fight someone every single game, I can appreciate that. Okay, I can appreciate a lineman that wants to just
I
fight.
love the physicality.
Like that, because listen, that was me. I wanted to fight someone every single, I wanted to fight someone every game I've played in. There was a person on the other team that I wanted to fight every game. It didn't matter whether we were kicking the shit out of them or they were beating us. There was someone on the other team that I wanted to fight. So I love that mentality of a lineman that just wants to fight. That's great. So yeah, Nick Gates is still in the middle. I'm putting Lemieux at right guard next to Matt Parrott, and I'm just letting him go. That's my offensive line right now. If we pick nobody up in the draft that was of starting caliber, that's who I'm starting.
What do you consider starting caliber? First 2 rounds?
I mean, you can find a starter anywhere in the draft, believe it or not. So, I just somebody that can't win in camp. If there's not somebody there that can beat out those 5 in camp, that's my 5.
If I had to go week 1, I think what's probably going to be the starter. I think it's going to be Andrew at left tackle. I'm going to put Shane at left. I'm going to put Gates at the center spot. For some weird reason, I feel like we're going by game 1. Fulton is going to start at right guard, which I think they'll rotate Hernandez in.
What's your problem
during the game?
Wait a minute.
Well,
What's your problem with Will Hernandez?
I don't have a problem. Like, look, it's not that I have a problem with Will Hernandez.
Will Hernandez
I
is
think-
a beast.
Look, this is my thing, right? If they were sold on Will Hernandez, which I get, I think he was hurt last year for the first 2 or 3 weeks. I think he was
No,
injured.
he had COVID.
He might have. COVID is towards the end of the season.
Yeah,
He's
I know
talking
he had
first
COVID.
2 weeks.
Yeah, I know he had COVID and stuff like that. I look at it like this: if they were sold on him, Shane Lemieux, after he came back from COVID, I don't think would have touched the field as much as he did. And Shane basically started the last 5 games of the season, and Will was back. Now, we saw Will pop in from time to time and saw him come in. I think if they were sold on him and they saw they had something there, Shane would have never touched the field. I think Fulton starts at the right guard spot, and I think they integrate Will Hernandez throughout that game and as the weeks go on. And if they see more production out of that position when it comes to Will Hernandez, I think Will Hernandez gets the full start at the right guard spot. And I'm just going to say Nate Solder starts at right tackle. I'm thinking he's going to be the starter at the right tackle spot. Same thing with Matt Pert. I see them rotating in Matt Pert and seeing what gels. Look, at the end of the day, they still got to figure out what's going to gel. Especially, we don't know what's happening with preseason. If there's going to be
preseason. There'll be preseason.
So I think
3 weeks.
In an ultimate world, what I would love to see is I want Thomas to ball out. I want Shane at either left or right guard. Them take an interior lineman. Gates starts at center, and I want Matt Pert to start at right tackles. I like Matt Pert. I think.
So you're saying the other interior offensive lineman you want starting opposite Lemieux and still have Hernandez on the bench?
Yeah, just because when
Man,
and, and this is
I'm
the
about to
thing.
drive
When
down.
you watch, look, I watch.
I'm about to take a
Listen, hold on, let me
fucking
explain.
5-hour
PTA,
drive
let me
south,
explain.
man. I'm about to take a 5-hour
Listen,
drive south,
listen
man.
here, motherfucker. Let me explain.
I'm
Okay.
listening. I'm
All
listening,
right.
man.
I had the ability for the first time because I have a jailbroken Fire Stick. Anybody in the chat, you got a jailbroken Fire Stick? You let me know. I'll get you. You know, my wife will do it for you. I know. We'll talk cost. You know, but we get you. But I had the ability of watching every single game that the Giants played, and you can see the intensity different. This is weird, but I was watching the offensive line. You can see the difference in how the offensive line played when Lemieux was there and when Hernandez was in. When Lemieux was there, they were more aggressive, and I feel they were more dominant when Lemieux was playing than when Hernandez was in the lineup.
Okay.
I just don't think that Hernandez has that it factor for us.
Okay.
Maybe for somebody else, but for us.
Okay, couple of things. And y'all not going to be able to hear this, but first of all,
Bruh.
secondly,
Oh my God.
third of all,
Oh my God.
so here's why I don't agree with any of this, okay? If you look at any of the players in the NFL that had COVID, that tested positive for COVID, you would see that all of those players were not the same player after they came back from COVID, okay? If you look at Gano looked like he was going to die throughout the rest of the season. If you look at Myles Garrett was getting ready to kill over in his games when he came back. And I think that was the same.
Nah, Andrew Thomas just that good.
I think that I personally think that Will Hernandez. Oh man. I think that Will Hernandez was actually just suffering from the repercussions of COVID. And I think that was more his problem as opposed to like, oh, he's just not good. And I don't think that an interior lineman, I don't think you want to play around with that. Like with an interior lineman that's protecting your quarterback, I don't think you want to play around with a guy who's hurting like a mofo because COVID kicked his ass. I really don't. So like, I don't necessarily think that Will Hernandez is bad. I just think that he had a bad year and COVID didn't help him. So if Will
Hernandez is still our best interior offensive
if Will
lineman.
Hernandez is not starting week 1, color me fucking surprised.
But he's had 3 bad years.
He didn't have 3 bad years. He did not have 3 bad years.
What? Bro.
Do you realize?
Have you been watching?
Do you realize who he was playing next to? Do you realize who he was playing next to his first 2 years? Do you realize like
Nate Solder, who's still on the offensive line.
Nate Solder was next to him, and Nate Solder was fucking bad all year.
Yeah,
both years.
Okay, but listen.
Bad. He was bad.
If you're a good fucking lineman, though, an interior lineman,
Nah.
like,
no.
come on, bro.
No,
come on.
No.
And listen, I'm sorry.
You're not
If
gonna talk to a trenches coach.
If you need somebody else to make you good,
you are not going to
come on, bro.
You're not going to talk to a trenches coach.
You
are not going to talk to a trenches coach like this.
Listen, hey, do you remember?
The trenches require everyone to play in synergy.
Listen, do you remember a guy?
Everyone to play in synergy.
And you know what? Let me tell you something. You know who Will Hernandez reminded me of when we drafted him? A fucking guy named Larry Allen. That's who I thought he was gonna be. Larry fucking Allen. He had the built like him.
Ladies and gentlemen, this has been a fantastic stream, man. I really appreciate everybody for coming out and hanging out with me, man. But this
Cowboys had at their left tackle spot.
I think Rob,
I don't remember because he was dog shit. Larry Allen was on the left side and he fucking dominated. He chased down a fucking linebacker, okay, and tackled that motherfucker. What has Will Hernandez done other than you realize that correct me if I'm wrong, but do you realize that when Eli was there, the 2 years that Will Hernandez was starting, the more pressures that Eli got? was from the left tackle spot and the left guard spot.
Yes.
Who was playing there?
Yes, that's
Chad,
correct.
who was playing?
Yes, that's correct.
Pest.
Yeah,
Will
yes,
Hernandez?
I'm going to tell you right now. I will admit Will Hernandez is still currently our best interior offensive lineman.
is.
However, what I have against him is his own words. His first ever interview as a New York Giant was him saying, "I got Eli 100%." He didn't even have Eli 40%.
He didn't even have him fucking 15.
That's true. But wait. But here's the thing with football, right? Here's the thing with football.
I mean, that's probably why Eli retired. Honestly,
Will Hernandez was the sole reason Eli's gone.
Have a good night, y'all. I'm retiring.
Here's the thing with football.
My number, I'm good.
Here's the thing with football, okay? Football is the only sport, okay? Although my wife always likes to like argue this point and say soccer is too, but I digress. Football is one of the only sports where it's not like one player can't make or break anything, right? One player does not make or break anything, and all players have to do their specific job at the exact same time. Now, here's the other problem. Here's the other thing that we don't factor into this when we're talking about these players. No one talks about the fucking coaching staff, okay? Like, no one. No one talks about the fucking coaching staff, the scheme, the way they prepare, the things that they do. You have to understand something, okay? When you're coming from college to the pros, it's fucking different. And if you've got shitty coaches teaching you shitty technique, you know what I'm saying, then you're going to be bad. And I'm sorry, but the coaching staff that was here during Will Hernandez's first couple of years was fucking bad. The O-line coach, fucking bad. Let me tell you a little secret about the O-line coach that came in when Pat Shurmur was our head coach, okay? So that offensive line coach had not been in the NFL for years before Pat Shurmur brought him in. And guess what? When Pat Shurmur got fired, that motherfucker was out of the NFL again, okay? That coach, I don't even remember his fucking name. That's how bad he was. But that coach was a fucking bum. A B-U-M-M-M-M-M-M-M bum, okay? Not in the league before, not in the fucking league after. But we don't take these kind of things into accountability.
Can you look at me when you're talking?
I'm looking at you. But I'm looking at my microphone because I want to make sure that you hear every single fucking word.
Hey, Pest.
Yes.
You're a Will Hernandez apologist.
I'm not a Will Hernandez apologist because y'all know me. I'm not married to a single player on this football team. Any player can come or go, and I don't give a fuck, right? Because I understand the way this operation works, and I understand that one player will never make or break us ever,
PTA.
fucking ever.
PTA, did Will Hernandez give you that PTP, bro? Is that why you like him so much?
Ah, that's where we're going with this. No.
Did Will Hernandez give you that PTP? Did he reach out to you on Twitter, say, yo, I'm in Virginia for the weekend. You want some of this PTP in the offseason? Is that what happened, bro?
I just call it like I see it. I don't think he's as bad as you're making him out to be, is all.
I mean, maybe the coaching staff and something will have something to do with it. Maybe this year he ends up having a really, really good year, and you know what? And if it does, I agree with Max. I don't think unless we have a huge spike in revenue and get a ton of cap space to where we could potentially re-sign him or something like that next year if he has a great year. Hopefully he has a great year and it helps him going into free agency and he lands a great deal, and maybe he'll end up like Justin Pugh and be an average player, like when we drafted Justin Pugh.
Justin Pugh. Fuck that guy. No, listen. If Will Hernandez is not on this team after this year, then it is what it is. But to say that he is not one of our best interior defensive linemen, if not the best interior defensive lineman, when we're looking at this roster, I don't think that's true. I'm sorry, offensive lineman. I don't think that's true.
Hey, Pest, I'm going to use your own argument against you right now.
Please, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. I'm listening.
You said it's all about coaching staff.
It is all about coaching staff, yes.
Oh, here we go. I like
if this coaching staff was high on Will Hernandez, sick or not, in pain or not, why was he not playing?
Because I don't know if that's a chance that you're willing to take on someone who is protecting your quarterback. I just don't think that's a chance you want to take on somebody who's.
But it's a chance that they're willing to take on the kicker. It's a chance that the Browns are willing to make on their best edge rusher. It's the chance that other teams are willing to make on their players coming back from COVID.
Yes, and I'll even double it. So
hold on. Because none of those players that you named,
English motherfucker.
None of those players that you named's job is to protect the most important player on the field. Who is the quarterback?
Okay, hold on one second. So off of what Max said though, if coaching was the problem, and they saw something in Will Hernandez that said, you know what, we can make this player great. He's got it. We need to work with him, right? Why did they sign Zach Fulton? And why are they looking to draft another interior fucking lineman in the draft? A top tier lineman. They drafted Shane Lemieux in the 3rd round last year.
They did.
Okay, in the 3rd round. He was a 2nd round pick, high 2nd round pick. Okay, they bring in a free agent in Zach Fulton who can play, and they're looking to draft.
But can he though?
Yeah, he just played 16 full games last year. He played 15 the year before that. He played 13 the year before that. And he played 16 in 2014. The guy started. If the guy wasn't a decent player, he would have started 15 and 16 games the last 2 years. So that argument's out.
I mean, a lot of players, a lot of offensive linemen play a full season of snaps. That doesn't mean that they're good. Offensive lineman is one of the hardest positions to get in the league now. There's a lot of average ass fucking offensive linemen that are playing, and I'm not saying that Will Hernandez is above average, but to say that he's bad, I don't agree with that.
I just think
I don't think anybody said Will Hernandez is bad though. I think it's a matter of how the coaching staff feels is their future of the offensive line,
right?
Not who's the best player right now.
Right. And again, Will Hernandez may not be the guy. He may not be the guy, but I just don't think that Will Hernandez is not the best. Currently the best interior offensive lineman we have on his team. I wholeheartedly believe that. And I feel like, okay, well, Will Hernandez is not 100%, like he's not 100% ready to play because of this COVID shit. Do we really want to risk Daniel Jones getting his fucking head knocked off? And you know, when we can maybe be getting Lemieux some reps and seeing what he's got, because maybe we're not keeping Kevin Zeitler after this year. Maybe he's going away. Maybe we're not going to.
If that was their intentions and thought, though, why put Daniel Jones back in when he's not 100%?
I mean, because Daniel Jones is the quarterback. That's just what it is. Because Daniel Jones is
the quarterback. But you were saying good offensive line are one of the hardest positions to find as far as above average. Daniel Jones might not even be that. So if that's the mentality they're gonna take, is we got to put the best product on the field, but we're gonna hold back Will Hernandez and put Daniel Jones in there when he's not 100%. Like it just doesn't make sense if that's their train of thought. You know what I mean?
I mean, we're talking about the difference between a quarterback and a guard, right? If your quarterback can play, he's got to play. If your quarterback can play, he's got to play. If your guard can't play, and I think Will Hernandez couldn't play because COVID kicked his ass, then he doesn't play. And cool, we get Lemieux in. We see what Lemieux's got to offer. Because I personally don't think, and this is crazy to say because I'm a guy that's not about tanking and about losing on purpose. And I'm not saying that the Giants were trying to lose on purpose, but I feel like the Giants approached this season like, yo, let's see what we got for the future here. Like, let's see what we can do for the future. I don't think they approached this season like, oh, we're gonna fucking win the division with 6 wins. Like, I don't think they approached the season like that. I think they came in and said, let's see what we can do here.
If I look at PFF grade for
Zach don't come in here with that PFF bullshit.
Okay.
Don't come in here with
last year. Listen, his overall was a 63.
You fucking lost me, PFF.
He was 26th in snaps in the NFL, 953. He was tied for 32nd in penalties with 3. He was first in sacks allowed with 11. He only allowed 11 sacks.
Let's go look at his Madden rating too, Rob. I mean, like, we're really
his Madden rating ain't that good. I think he's got like an 80 overall. I'm just saying.
We don't believe in
If
PFF
they were,
here.
I think if they were sold on Will Hernandez, I mean, look, say they drafted interior lineman. Say they drafted interior lineman this year. You got Shane Lemieux. If you had to pick Shane Lemieux or Will Hernandez, who you starting?
How am I answering this, Rob? Am I answering this as a fan or am I answering
as
this
the head coach of the New York Giants?
As the head coach,
as the
you
coach,
drafted interior lineman, right? Top first pick of the draft for your team.
I don't know.
You're drafting the first round. You're taking not first pick of the draft. I'm saying for the Giants, their first pick.
Yeah, the first round draft pick. I don't know if we're doing.
You're gonna put him. You're gonna put him on the right side. You'll put him next to a veteran guy potentially, and Nate Solder maybe who's playing on the right side. Right? You don't want because at this point Shane Lemieux and Will Hernandez this past year both played next to Andrew Thomas, so you don't want to mess that up. So you got Nick Gage as your center, Thomas as your left guard. We'll just say, for the argument's sake, Nate Solder is your starting right tackle, and your rookie is your starting right guard. Who are you starting at left guard? Shane Lemieux or Will Hernandez? You or Joe Judge? You're sitting in the meeting, and all right, who we going?
I'm gonna answer this. I'm going to put my coach hat on. Okay, I'm gonna answer this as a coach.
Don't just say Will Hernandez because you've been defending him this whole time either.
No. I'm going to start whoever has a better camp and preseason. It's a fucking competition.
So
in my world, nobody's fucking starting job is safe. If I'm a coach on any team, no one's starting job is safe. You got to compete for your fucking starting job, whether you was a starter last year or not. So listen, yeah.
I don't know. I think Andrew Thomas's job is pretty safe.
I mean, okay, there are some jobs that are obviously safe, right? Because no one's going to.
And if they draft an interior lineman at pick 11, he's starting, and they're not gonna take one at 11. He's not gonna start, barring any injury.
I mean,
Nick Gage is definitely gonna start. They didn't draft anybody. I don't see them moving him.
Wait a minute.
The only one that's up for question right now is right tackle. It's either gonna be Nate Solder or Matt Purd that's gonna have a real battle.
Right.
I'm saying this: if Shane Lemieux comes out and is the starter week 1 and beats out Will Hernandez,
then it is what it is. Then Lemieux's the starter.
But then that proves me and Max's point that clearly Will Hernandez don't have what it takes. I'm not saying he doesn't have what it takes with another team, like he can't play football. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying I don't think that he's got – if I take Will Hernandez and I take Shane Lemieux and I put them next to each other and I'm looking at which ones do I feel, okay, Shane Lemieux, really good at running the ball. He's very downhill blocker, aggressive. Not so good at pass blocking. Will Hernandez, same thing. Really good in running, not so good in passing. Who do I think is going to be able to make the adjustment and get better? I'm going to go with Lemieux because in 3 years, Will Hernandez would have fixed it already, regardless of coaching or not. I mean, you would have seen an improvement.
I mean, okay, I can understand all these hypotheticals, and we're gonna have to wait and see what happens when the rubber meets the road. But if my aunt had balls, her pronoun would be them, they. So I mean, like,
and if I wasn't with my wife, PTA wouldn't, a PTB wouldn't be, PTP would not be a thing right now.
I mean, it would probably still be a thing, just not your PTP.
You would have never heard it.
Yeah, I would have never.
You would have never.
No, I would have never.
I would have never heard it.
I would have never heard it. I would have never heard it. Okay, so listen.
All right, so I have a quick question, Rob.
Yeah,
this is kind of a little bit off topic to get us off. Since the beginning of the stream, I've been wondering, is that Peppers, Collins, or Tiki? Okay.
It's Tiki.
Okay.
Fucking shameful.
And my mom, I don't know if y'all can see, but my mom put this shit in the washing machine after I told her not to, and she bubbled it all up, man.
That's pain. I mean,
I know. I tried to get it fixed, and they told me it was like they wanted like $350 to fucking fix that shit.
I mean,
just buy a new one at that point.
I personally wouldn't be wearing a Tiki myself, but I mean, it's all good.
He does talk a lot. He actually did come out and give the Giants a approval comment, like
an attaboy.
Yeah, an attaboy. Like, hey, I think they're headed in the right direction. Type
now
of
that
thing.
they signed Kenny Golladay.
Yeah. Tiki, sit on it and rotate it. Tiki Barber. Who?
All right,
Anyway,
so-
Pest, you were going
so-
to say I didn't mean to cut you off.
Yeah, no. So we've been going at about an hour and 30 minutes. So I'm gonna ask the last question for the panel, and then we're gonna get out of here, and I'm gonna send everybody over to the young guns who started an hour ago, and they're probably on their way out. But okay, Rob Gaming,
Sir.
you are Dave Gettleman, okay, and the New York Football Giants are on the clock. There is any player, any whatever player you want. He's on the board. Whose name's getting put on that card? Whoever you want in your mind, he's on the board.
Kyle Pitts.
Gonna dial in this fucking.
Fuck you, Max. I know what you're gonna say. Fuck you, dog. Kyle Pitts. I'm gonna take Kyle Pitts, 100%.
All right, Max. Who? You're on the clock. Any player you want's on the board. Who you picking out?
He's gonna say Trevor Lawrence.
No, because
No, he is. He's thinking of a quarterback.
No,
he
Trevor,
really is.
No. We know the quarterbacks are going. We know the quarterbacks are going about it.
No, you said any player.
Yeah,
you
but
said any player.
But you know the quarterback. You know that like let's be reasonable here.
Let's pretend every player's there. I think I know he's going quarterback. Tell me which one.
I'd be tempted. I'm not going to say I would, but I'd have to spend the first minute on the clock debating it.
Okay.
Make him wait 30 seconds.
But I think I'd probably end up if we're excluding QBs.
Yeah, they're not on the board. We know they're not on the board.
Yeah. I think I have to go Penei Sewell.
Penei Sewell. So you're taking alignment.
Absolutely.
You're taking alignment. Wow.
That is right now, even as it sits, right? I've been saying for a little bit now, if Rashawn Slater and Penei Sewell are gone, I'm not opposed to just drafting BPA offensive lineman at 11, even if it's a reach. I'm not opposed.
Giants Nation. So, 1 second. Did you just fucking say that Tiki Barber is better?
He's a fucking troll. He's a troll.
I mean, he's probably better at some aspects of the game. Like
Yeah, fumbling the fucking ball.
Well, I mean, Tiki could probably truck someone better than Saquon too. You know what I mean?
Giants Nation said.
Yeah, Saquon just jumps over people.
Dumb. We're not taking no goddamn quarterback from fucking Ohio State. Fuck out of here. Not doing it.
We had the opportunity back in
not fucking doing it. I'm not taking a single fucking quarterback from Ohio State. Fuck off. Okay. not doing it. Not doing it at all. So, man, see, there's a couple of players, man, that okay, if these guys are on the board, right? Because there's a couple of players here. Like I would assume that like Jamar Chase is probably gone, right? I'm trying to be as fair as I can here. So Jamar Chase is probably gone.
So you're answering a different question than you asked us?
No. I mean, like I'm trying to be fair. I'm trying to be fair because
okay. If you want us to be realistic, I would have made a different pick.
I mean,
right? Because I don't think that Kyle Pitts has a realistic chance of even falling to 11.
Okay, fine. Any player that I want, I would go with Chase, right? I still believe that I would love to get a high caliber wide receiver to make this offense even deadlier because I honestly feel like our defense is good. Like I don't think. Maybe Micah Parsons would be a nice pickup, right? Get
some
that
edge too. I'm still not comfortable with that.
There is no fucking edge player.
Not in the first round, but I'm just saying that's still a need.
Wasn't there a linebacker from Penn State? I can't remember the name.
Parsons.
With like a
It's Parsons.
Parsons?
Yeah,
yeah.
Micah Parsons.
Wasn't that somebody that they were still looking at?
Yeah, in terms of like defense, that's the only player that I think we would even like remotely take. And that could help us, right? You got a good sideline to sideline guy in Parsons to come.
Don't count out Pay or Jalen Phillips at 11 either. I wouldn't do it, but don't count it out of the Giants' moves.
To me, they feel like reaches to me.
See, I don't see the Giants going defense with their first pick. If one of the two offensive linemen that Max talked about is there and Parsons is there, I think they go lineman over defense because you got to think you got O'Shane Zimenez coming back, Carter coming back.
Right.
Carter's coming off an Achilles though. That's harder than an ACL recovery.
Yeah, but I mean, he's still coming back. He could still. You don't know what he's gonna be able to do. I mean, Sherman came back and played fine after his Achilles injury and played well. I mean, so then they picked up a linebacker from that was with Washington. So they've got linebackers that's there. They brought in Reggie Ragland. You still got Blake Martinez, Tate Crowder, Carter Coughlin. So you got guys there. I would think they would go more offense. I don't think they would go.
Carter Coughlin is still there. Did Carter Coughlin do anything of fucking note last year though? I don't think he did.
Yeah,
he sacked Russell.
He balled out against the Seahawks.
I mean, like,
and I got a little thing.
I mean, what did he have? 40 snaps the entire season?
I don't know.
I got a little idea though when it comes to Russell Wilson. What I think is happening with Russell.
What kind of bullshit?
Staying in Seattle, me too.
Yeah, staying in Seattle.
I think he's going to stay in Seattle this year. I think he's going to stay in Seattle this year. This is what I think. I think he stays in Seattle this year. I think they contend to go to the postseason and whatnot. I think we contend, but I think he ends up with the Giants next year. I just have a feeling. Why? Because they were rumored to get him. Sierra wants to come to New York. That's where her business is. That's where she does a lot of her work is in New York. I just have a feeling that it's something that he wants change. I think he wanted to go to a contender, but his wife wants to be in New York. He ain't going to go to the Jets because they ain't contending. If we show that we've got some pieces in place and we need quarterback play to get there, I mean, why wouldn't you want to come play with Galladay, play with Barkley and whatever?
How are we paying him? How are we paying him?
He's getting the majority of his money this year from his contract. The majority of it is coming from this year. His cap next year, I think, is like just slightly over $20 million next year.
We have 16 right now. 16.
Yeah, but we're going to have a lot more next year.
No, I'm saying as of right now, at the estimated of 210, we sit at 16 million cap space because of the moves we made this year.
Yeah.
We're going to have to sign Peppers. We're going to have to sign Will Hernandez if we choose to bring him back. We're going to have to... I don't see how we pay a quarterback next year. We're talking Saquon Barkley. He might get extended.
Is this his contract year?
Man. This year is his fourth year. They can pick up the fifth-year option. But that hasn't always worked so well with running backs.
Nah, it hasn't. He's going to want an extension. He's going to want to extend right now. Hey,
I don't know. I don't think Saquon's that kind of guy that he's going to push them. He doesn't seem like that kind of guy. I don't know.
Saquon's a great teammate, but he's also a Mr. Hollywood.
This motherfucker want to get his money.
Paid.
You want to get his money.
Do you think he's going to push them like OBJ pushed them? I don't think so.
I mean, I
don't know. Him and OBJ be like this.
I think Saquon would take a hometown discount, right?
I do.
But that hometown
of 18 mil a year.
I was going to say, that hometown discount ain't gonna be that much, man. Like, what did McCaffrey get? Like 20?
I think it may depend on how
right now.
I think it may depend on how the team progresses next year, honestly, or the next couple of years. If they pick up his fifth-year option, the next couple of years, I think if they're on the verge of winning a championship. And say they make it to the postseason next year and they win a game and they contend the year after that, I think he may take a hometown discount because he's like, hey, you know what? We've got something here. We can win. I want to stay here. I want to win a championship. Because at that point, he's going to be almost in his late 20s. When you get to that point, you want to win a title. Why not win a title if we're contending? Why not? Why wouldn't you want to do it?
So all right, McCaffrey is set up to make 14 next year, 17 the year after, 17 the year after, and 13 the year after that, right? Geez, the potential out is going to still have a $12 million cap hit. No, thank you. So McCaffrey's going to make at least 14 and then 17 2 years in a row. Saquon's hometown discount is going to be 16, yo. Straight up. He's going to be like, maybe he might go 15. This man is going to demand a lot of fucking money. There ain't no damn way we're going to be able to pay Russell Wilson. There's just no way. There's no way. It's not going to happen.
And like I said, you can't forget about players like Peppers, who are probably in the long-term plans, because Logan Ryan's probably not in the long-term plans.
Nope. Peppers is going to want his fucking
people like
deal.
Will Hernandez, if the coaching staff has... What's that?
They gave Logan Ryan a 3-year extension, too, this year.
But after...
They can get out in
they can get out.
1 year. They can get out after like 1 year. It's not that big.
With minimal cap hit.
Yeah.
I could see them potentially doing that, depending on how Xavier McKinney performs this year. That was a guy that I was so heartbroken that got hurt, and then he came back, and I was so excited for him to come back, and he had an interception his first game, like fully back and everything like that. I'm excited to see what he can do. That's one player I'm really looking forward to watching next year.
Well, shit.
Let me ask you this one real quick. I don't want to keep us on because I know you wanted to end it here, Pest. But if you could get one jersey from any New York Giants player right now, knowing who's on the roster, who is it? I want that Kenny G jersey. I like Kenny Golladay even in Detroit. I was a fan of Kenny Golladay. Now that he's here, I want that number 19.
All right, this is gonna sound crazy, right? This is gonna sound crazy when I say this, all right? But I don't care.
He wants a Will Hernandez jersey.
No. If I was gonna get a jersey right now.
Oh my god.
If I was gonna get a jersey right now, right now, as much as I've talked shit about him, not shit, but as much as I've talked kind of down.
Leo.
No. I'm gonna get a Daniel Jones. I'm gonna get a Daniel Jones. It's my fucking quarterback. That's my quarterback for right now. I get a Daniel Jones.
It's my quarterback.
That's my quarterback, man.
Not buy his
until
jersey.
2022 when it's Russell Wilson.
When it's Russell Wilson, then I'm getting a Russell Wilson quarterback. Yeah, man, I'm getting Russell Wilson. I'm probably get it. I'd probably get a day. Like I have a Saquon, because I'm not gonna lie, Saquon is probably my favorite player on the team right now. I love Saquon.
That was another question you asked earlier, and I thought the question you asked was two completely different questions, but you asked it as one. You said, who are you rooting for most, and who is your favorite player? Because I think if you're not rooting most for Daniel Jones this year, then you're probably not hoping for the correct direction of the team.
Yeah.
But that doesn't necessarily make him your favorite player.
Yeah. I mean, like, I'm rooting for the New York Football Giants. Okay, I'm rooting for this entire roster. All right, I want everyone to ball out. Okay,
yeah.
I'm rooting for Daniel Jones because this is the make or break for him. Like this is it, brother. We've given you.
But that doesn't make or break this year. Doesn't mean it's impossible if he does bad that he's back next year. He'd still be on a rookie contract, and as of right now, the QB class doesn't look great. Yeah.
Oh no, he's gonna be back. Okay, I mean, like this is year 3. We have him at least year 4. Maybe we pick up his 5th year option, which who knows. But if he doesn't do well this year, if he has a year like he had last year, then we're gonna be talking about who our next quarterback is. Like that's
Russell
just
Wilson.
what it is.
That's who it is. Bring out your 3
Trevor
jerseys,
Lawrence,
baby.
Trading with the Jags.
Fucking Rob. You know what? Rob might fucking.
Yo, I would not. A little Gardner Minshew, little mustache in New York. Little mustache, bro. You already got it going, bro. You want a little mustache? You want a little mustache?
Screw it. Let's just get Fitz Magic up in here.
Hey, you want the beard? I don't know, man. Beard, mustache.
I just want the open suit jacket with the chest hair at the press conference. That's all.
This whole goddamn show is going off the rails, ladies and gentlemen. and I think that's where we're gonna wrap this motherfucker up, man. So here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna give you both opportunities to plug your shit. Rob, where can everybody find you?
You guys can find me twitch.tv/Rob_gaming with the O being a 0.
Links
just as you guys see it right down there. You can also find me on Twitter, same thing, and on TikTok too. R0, so the actual 0 spelled out B, You can find me on TikTok as well. Feel free to hit me up anywhere, but mostly on Twitch.
Yes, the link to his Twitter and his Twitch are in the description. Please go and give that man a follow, and if you got a little bit of spare change, hit him with a subscribe. Rob Gaming is an awesome streamer. What's your stream schedule, Rob?
So my stream. Need coffee. Stream schedule is Monday through Friday. We start at about 8 o'clock in the morning. We go till about 11:30. Saturdays are from about 8 o'clock in the morning till about 12 or 1. And Sundays are my days off. So I kind of veg out and try to spend some time in other people's channels.
Is that Eastern time?
Yeah, Eastern time. I'm in
Okay.
North Carolina right now, so it's on Eastern time. And stuff like that. So that's my schedule currently.
All right, awesome. So please go and give Rob Gaming a follow on all his different platforms.
Let's get fucking Tebow, he said.
Fucking stupid ass. Fucking dumbass Giants Nation. He's a piece of shit. Please go give this man a follow on all his platforms. Awesome streamer, awesome dude, fucking dedicated Giants fan. So you know when you go in there that you can troll him about picking fucking Tim Tebow like a goddamn idiot. Max, we did not initially plan for you to be here, but I reached out to you and I said bring that ass, and you were gracious enough to come.
Bring that ass here, boy.
Go ahead.
I brought that PTP, boy.
Yes.
Go ahead. Take some time. Plug your shit, man.
Yeah, man. So typically, Mic'd Up with Max Webster. It's my podcast. You can find me on YouTube. I'll be coming to other platforms like Spotify and Apple Podcasts here soon, hopefully. Every Wednesday is typically at 6:30 p.m. Eastern time. This week was one day delayed due to a late interview. So it will be out tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. You can find me on YouTube, like I said, Mic'd Up with Max Webster. You can search Max Webster Podcast. If you just search Max Webster, though, you'll find a Canadian rock band. So probably not me if that's what you find.
Play the guitar?
Oh, yeah. But Pest, thanks for having me on. It's been a blast. And everybody who's still here, make sure to come back here on day one of draft day, where Pest and I will be here streaming the draft live. Absolutely. Reactions for all of you fans.
Absolutely. But Bashir, what's up, nephew? Hey, man. Hey, listen, that's hey, Max. Bashir is a guy that you need to reach out to.
Bashir.
Bashir Randall. Bashir is
okay.
Man, he's an Eagles fan, but let me tell you, man, this young man is about 35 years old on the inside, man. Like this is a very mature, smart young man who does content on YouTube. We always try to show love to all the content creators, man, whether or not they rock with our team or not, because we are all kind of doing the same stuff. That's a young man you should reach out to, and in the future you should have him on your show.
So Bashir, if you want to hit me up and talk about getting on my podcast, you can find me on Twitter, Max_Webster with 2 R's. If you go ahead and just shoot me a message, we can work something out, and I'll tell you a little bit about what my podcast is about.
Yeah,
so.
but Bashir is somebody you should talk to in the future, because when Bashir, and I'm not, when Bashir like really gets into like, doing his thing, man, I think he's a guy that people are going to want to listen to, man. He's a smart ass young man. What's going on, Jaden? How you doing, man? Appreciate you for popping in. Okay, so look, at this time, y'all, we're going to go ahead and close up shop. We've been live for about 1:50. Typically, man, we don't go this long, but we had a lot of stuff to talk about, right? Rob brought some crazy shit in here. Maybe hit that button a couple times. A couple times I went,
Oh my God!
and then there was some times where it was like, but it's all good, y'all. It's all good. We had a good ass time, man. And I appreciate y'all for coming and gracing me with your presence, man. Thank y'all for coming and hanging out with me. Special shout out to Rob and to Max for coming and hanging out and helping me with
always
with
a blast,
content, man. This is a
Sure,
great
it was a
time,
lot of fun.
and we will definitely do this more often. I look forward to the draft with Max, man. We're gonna sit here. I'm gonna fucking drink, and we're gonna
Gotta break out that Yingling, yeah.
We're gonna make fun of people's fucking draft picks, man. It's gonna be great.
You're going to redraft Will Hernandez.
Shit. So listen, y'all, we gonna get the fuck out of here, man. Rob needs to go to fucking bed. It's a wrap. Thank y'all all for hanging out. I hope everybody has a good ass night. And one of these days, I need to make a stream ending scene for this shit because it's gonna look real dumb when I go back to the welcome screen. But that's what we're gonna do. I appreciate all y'all guys, man. Thank y'all so much. Y'all have a good night. Go check out the Young Guns. They're either on Cush's channel or at the Hub.
I think it's on Hub.
They're
The
on
Hub
the Hubs.
tonight.
Okay, well go and yell at Cush and the Hub. Cush and the Hub. Cush and BBS Kid Blue. Go hang out with those motherfuckers, and we'll get up with